It was a poultry and dairy farm in southeastern Vermont where George Bird says agriculture got into his blood as a child, and it was an apple orchard he managed in western Massachusetts in high school that set him on course for a career of a lifetime. He came to Michigan State University in the fall of '73 to get an extension experience with farmers of Michigan, focusing mainly on matters of nematodes. Growers were just beginning to manage the small worms with both chemical and non-chemical nematicides.
One of the first things we had to do here in Michigan nematology was to identify the problems. Which nematodes were causing which problems on which crops. And then after that, we had to work on the various control measures. And throughout the years, a lot of progress has been made, but the problems keep changing. Agriculture, as every farmer knows, is a very dynamic business, and you've got to keep ahead of it if you're going to be prosperous in agriculture. The same thing holds true to the science of nematology.
With more nematicides available today, Dr. Bird feels growers are better off than a quarter century ago, with biological controls and seed treatments. But even with those advances, he has a degree of concern.
On the other side of the coin, there is our soil. And the more we degrade that soil and reduce the soil organic matter, the less home you have for the beneficial nematodes. When you have fewer beneficial nematodes, something's going to come in and take over that space, and that will be the detrimental ones.
With nutrient depletion in soils taking place for as long as land has been farmed in Michigan, building them back up is key. Dr. Bird says it's essential that the soils are built back up for the future.
The arena of soil health is a very new domain, and we're just learning about that. And growers are beginning to understand about things like water-stable aggregates, nitrogen mineralization, and active carbon. And that's new to me and also new to the growers, so we're all learning together. Cover crops are a very hot item today. Can also be done with compost, and some crops mulches, but this is probably even more difficult to do than using the pesticides that we've used in the past, so there's a lot to be learned for the next generation.
Introducing nematodes into a good soil environment can spoil the party. It's done by planting stock of any crop that may have nematodes along for the ride, such as bulb and stem nematodes on garlic.
In the sugar beet industry, you don't want your neighbor's tear soil. And if you're planting an orchard, you want to make sure that you have nematode-free nursery stock. So as a nematologist, I've had to work with all aspects of agriculture. And sometimes when it comes to a regulatory issue, you have to go to Washington and work with the regulators and then bring that information back home and do research about it. So there's not a short list, there's a long list that Michigan Extension research and teachers are always working on for the Michigan farmers.
Ben Kudwa is the former executive director of the Michigan Potato Industry Commission. He cites 3 milestones in his work with Dr. Bird during their 30-year relationship. It began with assisting potato growers in upstate New York to combat the golden nematode, a quarantine pest, ultimately benefiting potato growers everywhere. Then came the realization that nematodes were affecting soil health, and together they went to work.
The final phase of our relationship came when a new nematologist was hired, and Dr. Bird went into an emeritus status, and the new person was hired, and that sort of takes us to today. So I feel very fortunate to have known him and to have had such a good long career. George epitomizes everything that's good about a land-grant university. You know, it's the research, it's the outreach, it's the extension, and it's just a general attitude that I can help. I can help Michigan farmers be successful. And I believe George, and there are others, but George in particular, and the reason he's being recognized today, was an important person in helping Michigan farmers.
Today, Dr. Bird is as busy as ever. He continues to do nematode and soil health research all over the world, and ever cognizant of the path that got him from that poultry farm in Vermont to where he is today.
In 1957, when I went to college, which was Rutgers University, it was a land-grant institution. And I have been a land grant advocate ever since. Today I somewhat travel internationally, and I can guarantee you that the land grant institution of research, extension, and teaching all in one place is the envy of the world, and we never need to forget that.
For his steadfast commitment to the advancements in nematode research, soil health, and the mission of the Land Grant University, Dr. George Bird is awarded the Michigan Vegetable Council's 2017 Master Farmer Associate Award.